care. But God had other ideas. Karen was heartbroken at the loss. "Hurry, Aunt Doris," she begged again. "The flames are already blocking a good portion of the room. We will have to run through the fire in order to get to the door." Doris bent over in a fit of coughing before recovering momentarily. "Wrap a blanket around you, child." Karen nodded and struggled to breathe. She felt panic anew wash over her as she sensed her body was no longer reacting as it should. Her movements were labored, her thinking less clear. She pulled the blanket from the bed and covered her head and shoulders. It seemed like the process was taking hours instead of minutes. "Here," she said, taking hold of her aunt's blanket. "Let me help." She secured the wrap, then kept a good hold on the blanket. "Come on, I'll lead the way." Stepping into the interior room was akin to stepping into a furnace. The feeling of panic and desperation mounted. They had to get out now. Flames licked at their blankets as Karen pulled Doris to safety. She stepped out into the alleyway and gasped for fresh air, only to find the smoke had permeated the air there as well. Racked with coughing, Karen collapsed to her knees and might have fainted but for the strong arms that lifted her and carried her to safety. She fell back against Adrik's strong chest, desperate for air, questioning whether she would live or die. "Aunt Doris," she gasped as Adrik lowered her to the ground. "Jacob, Leah." "I got the kids out. They're over there being tended to by the preacher," Adrik replied, pushing back Karen's unruly curls. She looked up at him and saw the fear in his expression. "You saved us," she whispered, then fell into another fit of coughing. Adrik gently grasped her about her arms with one hand while pounding her back with the other. "You're full of smoke," he said, as if she hadn't already figured it out. Regaining control, Karen nodded. "Help me up, please." He did as she asked, supporting her firmly against him. Karen's knees wobbled. "Where's Aunt Doris?" she questioned, looking up at the burning building. Several men were fighting to keep the flames under control. Panic began anew. "Where is she?" Adrik looked around. "I never saw her." Karen tried to head back to the building. "I helped her out. She was right here with me." Adrik shook his head. "No, you were alone." "I had hold of her. Karen came back to the spot where she'd fallen. Doris's blanket lay on the frozen ground. "I had hold of her blanket." Adrik saw where her gaze had fallen. The light from the flames made it easy enough to read the expression of her rescuer as Adrik raised his eyes back to hers. "She's still inside," Karen said, barely able to speak. She jerked away from Adrik as he reached out to take hold of her. "Aunt Doris!" "You can't go back inside. The place is ready to collapse," Adrik stated firmly. He took hold of her and refused to let go. She fought him with the last remnants of her strength, sobbing, "I have to try. I have to. She's probably just inside the door. I know she was with me as we crossed to the door." She turned her pleading expression to him and saw him study her only a moment before letting go of her arm. "I'll go," he said. Karen watched in stunned silence as he pushed back several men. He pulled a woolen scarf to his face and re-entered the burning building. Karen felt her breathing quicken in the smoke-filled air. "Dear God, let him find her," she pleaded in anguish. It seemed like an eternity before Adrik returned to the alleyway door, a small, unmoving bundle in his arms. "Thank God!" Karen cried, hurrying forward to pull Adrik to a less smoky area than he'd previously taken her. "Put her down here," she commanded. Kneeling, she waited for Adrik to do as she said. "Karen, "Put her right here," Karen insisted. She patted the frozen ground and looked up to see that he understood.